Katja and I wanted to find out if people are still being treated as outcasts in a democratic society. 20% of the Indian population are outcasts. The outcasts are the untouchables. Untouchability has been officially abolished, but it is still practiced, especially in the rural areas of India. Today, the untouchables prefer to be called Dalits. The founder of Prepare, Dr. Jacob Raj, is a Dalit himself.
India is a democracy. When we say democracy, then one aspect of equality is a major issue. Right. And within the democracy, when we say that all people are equal, then the situation of India should be understood in its right place. One is that we have outcasts who are not equal with the rest of the people. It is a fact.
These should live near cremation grounds, recognizable and make a living by their own innate activities. But the dwellings of the untouchables should be outside the village. They must use discarded bowls, and dogs and donkeys should be their wealth. Their clothing should be the clothes of the dead, and their food should be in broken dishes. Their ornaments should be made of black iron, and they should wander constantly. A man who carries out his duties should not seek contact with them. They should do business with one another and marry those who are like them.
According to the Hindu religion, because of the karma theory, Dalits are born damned. From this theory, karma theory, the pollution also comes. The untouchability as a social discrimination based on purity and impurity is being practiced for centuries.
God of creation Brahma gave birth out of the 4 divisions of his body. From his head came the priests. From his shoulders, the rulers and warriors. The merchants came from his thighs, and the servants came from his feet. Outside the caste system are the Dalits. They are considered subhuman. Hindus believe the caste into which you are born depends on your karma, or how good you were in a previous life. For the Dalits, it is a different story. They are born outside the caste system and will never be able to enter into it, even in a future life.
There are castes like Dhobi, who are the washermen, or the lower castes. You see, Dalits have to serve them. The other religions don't do that.
And particularly this religion and power is used to subordinate Dalits by and large, because they were the muscle power. They were the muscle power to produce food. They are the working class. It is only by them and through them sustenance of the rest of the society could be guaranteed.
Dalits have to serve the caste people by playing drums at festivals and funerals. The caste people won't touch these drums because they are made of animal skin. Dalits have to clear dung from the path of a caste person. Dalits have to bury the dead, clean the streets, and generally do all the dirty work. To show their subordination, Dalit women are expected to lift their skirts when entering a caste village. They have to look after the caste man's holy but unproductive cows. They have to cultivate the caste man's land, even if it means no profit for them. This degrading system makes the Dalits believe that they are worthless themselves.
Dalit means broken people. The word Dalit was first used by one Mahatma Phule. He was a poet from Maharashtra. He himself was a Dalit, and as a poet, he was describing the plight and life of the people. And he is symbolically, describing his people as a broken people. And in the local language, it is called a Dalit.
The Dalits are at the bottom of the social order, which leaves them uneducated and unaware of their rights. Prepare are educating the Dalit community and are focusing on Dalit women. They have chosen women because women are not directly controlled by the caste people. Dalit women suffer discrimination because they are outcasts and because they are women.
The faith as well as the practice within our Indian society is women is considered as a private property. Private property in terms of the relationship between man and woman.
Jaya Marie and her husband Lana Pragasum were looking after us while we were staying in the Dalit community. Lana Pragasum tied a sacred thread around Jaya Marie's neck when they got married, which symbolizes that he owns her.
Once he has tied the knot, we are like slaves.
In life and death, they totally belong to us. She cannot go anywhere without my permission.
Jaya Marie is an untouchable. She is made to live separately from the rest of society. The Dalit colony is 3 minutes walk away from the caste village.
It's common in India. In all of India.
All over India it is common. Nowhere you can find that colonies will be the first, then the village. Usually the village will be the first, then only the colony comes.
And it's always separated.
It is always separate.
Caste is a strict division of labour. In this village live a caste of potters. Caste people believe that Dalits are polluted. Intermarriage between Dalits and caste people is taboo, and to reduce the risk of contact, the Dalits are made to live separately. The Dalits are not allowed to use the well and temple of the caste people.
Power is the main source for everything. So in villages, the power remains with the upper caste people on two aspects. One is the land resource they have, the other one is the money resource they have. When we compare the Dalits, they don't have even land as well as they don't have money. For these two reasons, they have to depend on the upper caste people.
This is the landowner. She rents her land to the Dalits. For this, the Dalit give half of their crop to her. To begin cultivation, the Dalits have to borrow money to buy seeds and fertilizer. They are forced to ask the landowner for money. The landowner charges interest, which is often as high as 120%. While Chandra is paying back some of her loan, she has to live on what little is left. She looks after 4 cows for the landowner.
I have to look after 4 cows and feed them as well. I need all the hay I can get from the fields to help feed them. If we work in the fields, we get all the hay for free. If I have to buy hay to feed them, it costs money that we cannot spare. Even if the work does not give us money in our hands, it's worth it for the money we save on feed.
The milk Chandra gets is just enough to feed her grandchildren.
By giving this land to the Dalit on a sharecropping basis or on a lease basis, the landlord has absolutely no obligation except to receive the share. He does not pay the labor, he does not pay for the inputs.
So the whole risk is with the...
The entire risk is on the Dalit. The entire responsibility is on the Dalit. In case if the crop fails, but still the Dalit is to pay.
It is often impossible for the Dalit to repay the debt, and this can lead to a life of bonded labour.
people are not allowed to go inside the upper caste people's house, and the Dalit people will not be given food in their houses. Dalit people will not be given food in their vessels. They will be only given in the hands, like, or in leaves.
After the peanut harvest, the Dalit gets to keep one basket of peanuts, while the rest goes to the landowner.
Then you may find that this woman, not only she works very hard physically, but also in terms of time. From early morning, from 6 o'clock onwards, she goes on working and working.
After Marie crushes and sorts out the peanuts, she only has one bottle of oil, as a result of many hours of hard physical labor.
Beautiful. Super. Grandmaster. Super beautiful.
Marie, show. Super.
Super.
Marie only has one sari for work. Whenever she does the family washing, she takes a bath and washes her sari at the same time. In one sense, Dalit women have more freedom than many other women in India, because they go out to work in the fields. But this also makes them more vulnerable.
And this woman, who is considered as an untouchable, is a touchable by the caste man when she goes to the field. Therefore, you may see that more and more number of women are raped, and more women are subject to sexual harassment and sexual assault.
All over India, Dalits live on the graveyards of caste people.
Our houses are usually built near the cemetery, so whenever the bodies are burned, we cannot sleep or eat because of the bad smell.
What does it mean for these people to have to live in the middle of a graveyard?
See, they are not considered as human beings, first of all. That's why they are asked to live nearby the graveyards, because usually in Indian people believe that graveyard means there a lot of devil will live, a lot of devil spirit will be there. So since they are not considered as human beings, they are not even respected, like, no. So they can live anywhere where even the devil lives, the spirits live.
The girls took us to the caste village and proudly showed us where they work. Child labour is common in India. The girls work to earn money for their families and their dowries. For 12 hours work, they earn 17 rupees, which is about 30 pence. There is girls' work and there is boys' work. The boys are the future security for their parents and are their only hope of escaping bonded labour. Therefore, the boys are sent to school while the girls are working.
Jodi is 12 years old and works in the embroidery. She can only write her name. The Dalits make up 50% of the total illiterates in India. Chandra is a widow. Traditionally, widows are not allowed to remarry in India. Chandra had to struggle to raise 4 sons. Now she's taking care of her grandchildren.
My husband died 20 years ago, and then I had no income. Even though my son went out to work, I still did not have enough money to send the children to school. I don't know how I managed to look after them. Somehow I did.
Jodi's parents are divorced because her father's an alcoholic. Jodi now lives with her grandmother.
I don't get to see my mother very often because my father doesn't like us being together. If he sees us together when he's drunk, he feels threatened and will beat us both up. My father drinks all the time and gets violent, which is why my mother separated from him.
Alcohol causes a lot of problems in the Dalit community.
It's again a systematic and planned idea of the upper caste people, because all along in the history we could see that the upper caste people's idea was that the Dalit should not think. So to keep them always with the toxication, it helps them to suppress the Dalits.
Dalit men face great pressure from being outcast. The only place they can assert their authority is within their own home and community.
And she is also scared of her husband, because if this household cooking and washing the children and feeding the children, if they are not done on time or before the child goes to sleep, then she is going to be beaten up by her husband.
This woman is offering a puja for the good health of her husband. She told us, as long as her husband is healthy, then she will be healthy. She is not allowed to pray at the temple, just outside her house, because she is a woman.
She is a symbol of Sita, means she is a symbol of suffering. She is a symbol of purity. She is a symbol of selflessness. And that is how women are seen. The question of power in public, power of women in public is, it's not compatible with the Hindu code. It's not compatible with the social structure.
In order to express her selflessness, Jaya Marie will feed her husband and sons first, while the women and girls eat whatever is left over.
Like many Dalits, Lana Prakasam has converted to Christianity to try and escape the stigma of caste. However, he still brings offerings to the Hindu gods. He believes that his father was killed by a ghost because a sacrifice was not made before he started a new project. To make an offering for every new event is part of the Hindu culture. That night, a procession came to invite us to a ceremony the next day.
Jodi's cousin Sidra was to have her ears pierced. Jodi had to go hungry to pay for the ceremony, to which she was not even invited. The cultural customs are very important to the Dalits. They will practice them despite their poverty.
Me and my grandmother have to live on the money I earn at embroidering. My uncle took my money to pay for my cousin's ceremony. I haven't had hardly anything to eat for about 3 days because we haven't any money left.
This is a Hindu ceremony, even though the Hindu religion does not allow the Dalits into the temple of caste people.
Context of the Indian society, which is largely a Hindu culture. Dalits basically imitated the Hindu culture and imitated the Hindu practices. So if I speak English, I speak like an Indian. No, my English is an Indianized English. Similarly, the Dalits' practice of the religion also is, let us say, a Hindu-like.
Certain portion of Dalits, they believe that practicing the custom of the upper caste people gives some certain pride. So they practice it.
The hard physical work affects the Dalits' health. The girls have open sores from working at the embroidery.
Does it burn? Does it burn?
Yes,
Where here?
So when they have health problems, they don't have money also to go and get them treated, as well as they don't have time also to go and look after themselves. So with this, their health problems are increasing day by day, and they have a lot of problems. And what happens ultimately, after sometimes they become helplessness, they cannot earn anything, and they lose the whole family.
Try and lay down.
Even if I am ill, I don't think about going to hospital. I think about going to work. It costs 10 rupees to go to the hospital, and I've never had a day off sick in my life.
Nancy. You okay?
Supa is a community health worker from Prepare. She visits the Dalit communities and offers advice and treatment. One reason that the Dalits are so dependent on the landowner is their illiteracy. They are intimidated by state banks. Prepare have organized an informal banking system. Now they can try and escape the cycle of bonded labor. Or, like Chandra, try and save some money for their future security. A fortune teller arrived in the colony. We ask him to read Jodi's cards.
வணக்கம் சொல். பார்க்கவே அசுவனிதான் உதயமாகில் ஜாதகருக்கு பல தொழில் காரணத்தால் கண்ணியமாக வீட்டில் வாழ்வுதரும்.
The fortune teller told me that since I have a birthmark on my chin, whatever I say will come true. He also says I will get beaten by my father, uncle and grandmother. I was told that I would cheat on my future husband, but he would be faithful to me.
We asked Jodi what her wish would be for the future. She told us, a husband who does not beat her and enough rice every day. While we stayed in the colony, we managed to give Jodi enough rice every day. It is very difficult to know when to give help as an outsider and when it only causes jealousy. Jaya Marie's future is to keep on working and hope her sons will take care of her when she's old.
As long as we can, we'll work and be able to eat. But if we can't work, nobody is going to feed us. So we think it's better to die while we're healthy.
Chandra lives with one of her sons, but he may leave soon and go and find work in the city. Many Dalits prefer living in the slums of the big cities, where they can escape from the stigma of caste. The hardship and poverty the Dalits suffer is obvious. It is harder to understand how the stigma of untouchability affects them.
Well, everyone is so eager. Everyone is first and foremost want to talk about the caste. In the work setting, before you enter into an education, during your course of education, when you come out of the education, when you get into the job, during your work time or after your work time, everything is so conditioned by what caste that you belong.
It's impossible to get rid of caste. My son started school when he was 5 years old. The first question he was asked when he got there was what caste does he belong to.
By making his caste known, he is not going to make himself proud. Nobody is going to look at him with respect. He will be only always looked at with contempt.
Has anything changed since the 1950s law to abolish untouchability?
And even the shade of the Dalit falling upon the other upper caste people is considered as a pollution. Everything was considered as a pollution some years ago. But right now things are changed, maybe in his practices. But the idea is still there.
We were not allowed to smoke or to be seen to cover our legs below our knees. We were basically forbidden to wear any good clothes like trousers or shirts. And we were not even allowed to ride bicycles. But we were made to walk without shoes, even in the dirt.
So the religion says that you should not be polluted by touching other person. You should not mingle with an untouchable. So in that way, by touching another person, by mingling with another person, with eating with Dalit, then you are getting polluted and therefore you are not pleasing God. In other words, the social custom has got a religious connotation. And this is basically the psychic of the Indian. In order to make one believe, people introduce religious connotations in that. Now, this gives a powerful position to the religion. Religion does not operate only within the temples, does not operate only within certain festivals. But religion in India operates every aspect of life. People want to maintain their interest. In order to maintain their power and interest, as well as their control over another people, they were using caste system as a major tool. And having got a religious sanction for the caste system, it is better to continue this untouchability with the people.
Do they believe that they have done something wrong in their previous lives to be polluted or to be where they are now?
They are also told that because of your karma, because of your bad deeds, your wretchedness, you are born as a Dalit. And because of your lowliness, you are eating meat, and your ugliness and your dirty life conditions, make you much more lower than other people. They do believe that they are polluted themselves because they have been told that you are polluted. And if you are told 1001 times, day in and day out, that you are polluted, you are dirty, and your mind and your psychic absorbs that, and you are believing and operating on that basis. They have lost the power of thinking. They have lost the power of rationality. They have lost the power of understanding. And they were in a way made as worse than animals. Even if for slaves, they may be able to think, but their condition was much lower than the slavery, and therefore their capacity to think and rationalize is so badly limited.
It is difficult for the Dalits to demand their rights. Ramdas told us what happened to him when he asked for water for his fields.
கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு முன்னால நான் கைனிக்கு போனேன். அந்த நேரத்தில் மேல் ஜாதிக்காரங்க தான் என் கைனிக்கு மேல் கைனிக்காரு. எப்பவுமே அவங்க அங்கிருந்து தான் தண்ணி எடுக்கணும் என் கைனிக்கு.
One day I went to my rice field, which was completely dried up. The only place I could get water from was the next field, which belongs to the higher caste man. He has lots of water. But when I asked him for some water, he refused to give me any. And then he got really angry and even tried to hit me. I was too scared to hit him back because he has lots of power and influence. Obviously, I had to defend myself. Even though I'd only tried to defend myself, I was still taken to court and made to apologize. I also had to pay a very heavy fine in front of the whole village. For generations, we have been like slaves to the higher castes, looking after their cattle and growing their food. They have been rich from the start, having all the land and money. They wouldn't even let us wear shirts. We were only allowed to work for them.
These people, they possess the business, they control the business, they control the economy, they control the land, they control the means of production, and they also control the politics, the police, the financial institutions, the bureaucracy, and the legislature, the parliament. Every system, every institution is in control of these caste people. So, seeking justice through judicial or non-judicial process, for him, he has to pay a price. So, justice for Dalit is very difficult even for him to dream about. And how he is going to find justice? Okay, that is what we are now struggling through prepare.
Prepare are trying to give power to the Dalits by educating them. They use songs and street theatre to tell the Dalits that they are treated unfairly by society.
இன்னைக்கு அடிமையா கிடக்குறங்க அரசியல்வாதி கிட்ட ஆண்டமாறு கிட்ட இன்னைக்கு அடிமையா கிடக்குறங்க அரசியல்வாதி கிட்ட ஆண்டமாறு கிட்ட ஐயா சுதந்திர நாட்டு நீல சுடுகாட்டுக்கு பாதை இல்ல இந்த சுதந்திர நாட்டு நீல சுடுகாட்டுக்கு பாதை இல்ல என்ன சுதந்திரம்.
Many people have tried to help the untouchables. The most famous is Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi renamed the untouchables as Harijans, meaning children of God. He made the world aware of the situation, but never managed to achieve equality for the Dalits. The real hero of the Dalits today is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Ambedkar found that unless and until there is an end to caste system, there is absolutely no chance for the Dalits.
Ambedkar was a Dalit. Despite being born an outcast, Ambedkar fought the system. In 1950, Ambedkar wrote the Indian Constitution, which guarantees all its citizens equal rights.
We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign and democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual.
Untouchability was abolished in the Constitution. Very soon Ambedkar realised that equal rights were only guaranteed on paper. He symbolically burnt a copy of the Indian Constitution. Economic help, education and jobs in industry have been offered to the Dalits by the government.
The question is more social than economic. All these concessions, the economic concessions, or whether you may give bullock carts, or whether you may give some monetary or material assistance, it is not going to make them touchable. It is not going to make them, socially relieved from the stigma. In the Indian society, what Ambedkar wanted was basically an equality. He wanted, you want to, if you want to purify, you purify the Hindu religion, number one. By purifying Hindu religion, you can do away with the caste system. And to do away with the caste system, you can also consider like intermarriages. Right? Through intermarriages, you can do away with the caste system. You can purify your Hindu religion. All right? So these are some of the practical things he suggested. He was not asking a big deal.
Ambedkar's message to the Dalit community was to educate, agitate and organise.
Ambedkar said that we should create condition for Dalits to educate themselves. Now this is the education that I am talking about. This is an education of reflection. It's an education of self-reflection. It's an education of group reflection. It's an education of community reflection. The moment they see their enemy, then they know how to deal with their enemy. But they are not able to see their enemy because their eye is blind. Their heart is blind. So through this education, we'll be able to open up their mind, open up their eyes, and they will be able to see, and they will be able to see how their enemy can be dealt with.
Prepare are taken up Ambedkar's plea and have directed their education through the Dalit women. The women have strength from being at the centre of the Dalit community and have a ready-made network through their work in the fields.
Our experience showed that women are much more powerful as well as a solid group through whom we could do something like.
Prepare have organised the women into committees or sangams. These sangams give a voice to the Dalit community and teach the women about their rights. It provides a space for the women to develop their skills and gives them confidence to question their treatment.
We didn't know how to talk to anyone important before. After joining the Sangam, we had the chance to talk to policemen or inspectors. Before that, we didn't know anything, and if we saw someone in trousers or a shirt, we'd be scared.
There are 45 Sangams in the area Prepare is working in. In 1993, 3,000 women from the Sangams marched against the inequalities of caste and oppression by men.
Finally, our idea is that this should become as a political process. So people of these groups have to finally enter into the political process.
Because untouchability is part of the culture, Prepare are trying to break this pattern. The culture says that Dalits are not allowed to own cows. So Prepare provide loans for Dalit women to buy cows so that they can sell the milk and enter into the economy. By owning a cow, a Dalit woman is given respect and dignity in her own community. The milk is sold in Prepare's name, as caste people will not buy milk from Dalits.
A casteless society is what we are working towards. And it is possible that we have created here and there in this part of the world that our women as a central of Dalit liberation, Dalit organization and Dalit education. Because we know for sure that the whole Hindu system is patriarchal system, is a man-oriented system, is man-oriented economy, it is man-oriented politics. Whereas in the Dalit culture, in Dalit society, it is a woman who is center, or woman who is the first one. Thus we see that Dalit liberation and Dalit emancipation is largely in the hand of the woman, particularly the Dalit woman.